sit in this chair for 20 plus years, you hear things that nobody else would have ever known, heard, you know.
I think it's harder than having a baby.
Yeah.
Harder than my first one anyway.
That's right.
Dude, I love it.
All right, Dusty, I'm a kind of start for a second, man, just to kind of give you a minute to be adjusted to it.
Okay.
You need to stop for any reason. Just say the word.
Okay.
If you hear this noise, assume that you're being tattooed, okay?
Oh, yeah.
No sudden movements.
Gotcha.
You know, but yeah, like I say, if you need to stop for any reason, man, just say the word. I have no issues with that at all, okay?
All right. Okay. It just... nowhere near as hurt, like it don't hurt as bad as I thought it would.
You have other tattoos, right?
Yeah, I got this one, but
Is that the only one?
it's the only one, man.
Really?
With two?
Tattoo
Okay.
too.
He's got one on his knuckle. For some reason, man, I just thought you had.
I know I look like I have them,
look.
and that's cool because I don't have to spend any money.
Yeah. Oh, this is fantastic, man. Hell yeah.
Yeah.
That's exciting.
Well, when you're like, choose something, you know, that means something or whatever. I was like, I don't know. My mind went straight to this, and then I found exactly what I was thinking.
So you said you're a farmer.
Yeah.
What do you farm?
Soybeans, wheat, and I do some sawmilling.
Oh, okay. So
That's my main job is sawmilling, but I've farmed for over 10 years.
Is it a family farm or?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I was going to college because I thought for some reason I was going to go somewhere. And then I got married, and then I was like, well, I can always go back to the farm. And that's where I've been ever since.
Are you still married?
Not to that person. No.
Oh.
Yeah. That's why I started doing comedy after my divorce. I was like, hey, let's do it.
Was the comedy a way to come to terms with divorce, or just a creative release that you never had an opportunity to do, you know, during the marriage?
Yeah, both, I guess. Like it became therapy for it. Like it helped out. Before I was just trying to be funny, you know?
Yeah.
And doing very bad at it. Because naturally, when you start something, you're going to suck at it. But I already felt like shit anyway, so sucking at something you want to be good at. After a divorce, I was just like, the fuck, you know? So...
So how long you been doing comedy?
It's like eight and a half years.
So was like comedy your first medium that you thought about, like, I want to perform?
Yeah. Oh yeah, without question. When I was a kid, I found some old papers in my mom's house when I was in school, elementary school. I think it was like kindergarten, I think it's first grade. They ask you what you want to do when you grow up, and I wrote down comedian.
Mm-hmm.
And that was cool to find that, and because that's the kind of shit you feel gravitated to naturally sometimes, and then you forget it as you grow up because you think it's impossible, and then you get old enough and you're like, well, I can at least try it, and then that's when you find out if you were meant to do it or not, or if you like doing it.
Yeah, I personally felt why it took me so long to even try and get on stage was not really having an avenue, you know. And then I don't know about you, but I grew up in a small town, and you know, not being able to conceptualize that the possibility of starting my own scene never even entered my mind, you know.
Yeah.
And then plus you're tattooing, you tattoo at night, comedy's at night, you know, so it kind of battled each other, because especially weekends are your money making time. And so on a farm, you know, I'm assuming like it's kind of isolated somewhat.
Oh yeah, definitely.
So what kind of comedy influence do you have whenever you're a kid growing up on a farm that wants to be a comedian?
For me, it was sitcoms like Family Matters, Step by Step, Full House, Who's the Boss, Roseanne, anything like that. That was kind of, especially characters, like somebody who's a real character, like Steve Urkel. Loved Family Matters. And
Yeah.
I don't know, it taught me a lot about the world. Movies and TV taught me a lot about what I hadn't seen before or wasn't going to see. And it, I don't know, kind of opened up my mind to like, there's bigger things kind of a thing. And I don't know. That's why I like movies so much, kind of a thing. Like it, I don't know.
It's that break in reality.
Yeah, that, and it kind of just, I don't know, fond, like stories. I don't like reading. And it's not because I hate reading, it's just because I'm bad at it. Or at least comprehension. I can read anything. I can read every word in the world, bro.
Yeah.
I am so good at fucking reading. But then if you ask me what I just read, I'd be like,
I don't know.
you read it. You know, I hate it when teachers are like, read this and tell me what it's about. I'm like, you know, they should have read whatever I just read. I doubt it's my fucking job to teach them how to read. What about you? Like, how did you, you know, same, vice versa, or quid pro quo.
Quid pro quo, Clarice.
Yeah. So what were your influences growing up in a similar small environment?
Well, we had cable. Like we did have that little black box that, you know, you know, and so I would say like an early influence for me, you know, was Dice Clay. You know, seeing a Dice Clay, and then, like I mean, South Louisiana culture is a little different. I don't know, man. Like, it kind of seems like kids are exposed to more than they should be quicker, I guess you could say. You know, whether it be, you know, alcohol and, you know, then there's nudity with Mardi Gras and stuff like that and all. And so, like, it just seems like censorship really wasn't something that was a thing, really, you know? And so, like, my mom bought me Ice-T's Body Count album, you know? And I mean, it's because, you know, she didn't see limiting me on like an artistic medium because of language, you know? And I mean, now granted, it's not like she was sitting there holding my hand like, oh, let's go watch Dice Clay.
Right.
You know, it's me getting up in the middle of the night and going sneak and, you know, watching whatever was going to be on that little black box and just, you know, absorbing. I was the class clown kid, man. And like, you know, my joke about being a ginger in an environment that I grew up in.
Right.
That joke's not necessarily bullshit.
Uh-huh.
You know, I did grow up in an environment where if you were a ginger, I mean, people looked at you crazy, you know?
Yeah.
Just because we don't have a lot of redheads in that gene pool.
Yeah.
And, you know, so in order to have some kind of social life, you know, you become the class clown, you know? And so, like, I took those influences and I would repeat those jokes and things of that nature.
Yeah.
And then, like, you get attention. So you keep doing it, you know?
Right. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I was the fat kid. I was the second fattest kid in elementary school, but the fattest kid in school would make fun of me for being fat. So it's like I was the first fat. You know what I mean? Like, all right, Samuel Whiteside, you know what I mean? Like, dude had jokes. Dude had jokes. And I was so fat I had asthma. Like, it like everybody, you know, I just wasn't good at playing or running or anything like that, but I'd make kids laugh or try to, you know, and I kind of forgot I was fat till I was like in 5th grade. And then it just, I don't know, kind of hit me a little different then.
Well, I mean, kids start to observe that, and
Oh
then,
yeah. It become well. You start noticing your own body. I remember the moment that I realized I was fat, and I was in the middle of third grade, and I was like touching my arm, my body. I was like, holy shit, like it's me. You know what I mean? Like you keep having this idea of like you're like 2 years, I don't know, like 5 years old, and then you're like I said, one day you're like in third grade, and it's like, Jesus Christ, I have tits. Like it was, it was eye opening. It'd just be great if you could keep that mentality where you're just happy with yourself all the time. Once you realize that you have a body you can manipulate by feeding it more, feeding it less, making it jump, making it run, it kind of ruins. I don't know. Having a body's great and shitty at the same time.
yeah. Well, I mean, a lot of it too is that what is beauty and what is, like we were talking about comedy being subjective. Those are all subjective subjects also, but we
Yeah.
don't necessarily treat them that way.
Yeah.
Now I think we are, because now I think we're starting to get into an era of society where, like, you do have plus size models and stuff like that and all. And you got people that are going up in arms about it. And it's like, man, they're part of society too, like they have a following. Everybody has a following.
Mm-hmm. I agree. Yeah, we've been told what's attractive for too long, or for a long time, what's supposed to be attractive, and that sucks for women, that sucks for men, that sucks for everybody.
So how have you worked on like being happy with who you are?
I mean, I try to stay healthy as much as I can. Working out, and working on the sawmill. It's a physical job anyway. And then just trying to, I don't know, just accept like, hey, no matter what, I'm going to get old one day if I'm lucky. So if I can't accept myself when I'm old, when I'm young, then boy, it's going to suck when I'm old.
Yeah.
It's like one of those high thoughts where it's like, Jesus, I got to be nice to my old self.
Yeah.
And I hadn't even met the fucker yet. You know what I mean? But I hope I like him. I'm pretty sure I will. I don't know. Dusty, if you're out there, I think I love you. You old bastard.
So growing up watching these sitcoms, because I mean that's different than like a stand-up.
Yeah.
Were you using that just like learning timing, like how to like really punch a line? How were you using it to really kind of guide? Because I mean, even if you were young, you were still writing in your head and stuff,
Right,
to make people laugh. So
yeah, I'd say it was like just about all of it was just mimicry. You know what I mean?
yeah.
So I would do impressions of Steve Urkel. I'd do impressions of just different characters, like, Uncle Joey from Full House when he does the Popeye, or the fucking woodchuck where he's like, world, like that. I would do that a lot. And I noticed a lot of kids would try it, but if you tried it enough, you kind of sounded better. Like you sounded more like it.
Yeah.
And I don't know, I would just do shit like that and flip off tables. I don't know, like wrestling shit. Like wrestling was a thing for me.
Yeah.
So I had a friend named Hampton, and I'd always throw my book bag down, jump on the lunch table, and flip on it, like a swan dive on it. And I never got hurt. Never got hurt one time. I really impressed Hampton. That's all I'm trying to say is that I'm saying Hampton's out there, and he's like, man, that motherfucker.
You and that dude were tight.
Yeah, he was my best bus friend. Everybody's got a bus friend.
Yeah.
He was my bus friend, and he got off first, and I got off last. And I was like, well, fuck you, Hampton. Had a nursery and everything, like his own, like by nursery, I mean like forest nursery.
Mm-hmm.
So he'd get off like all these plants, and I was like, nice. Hiya, man. Whew.
What's that?
touched a.
It hit you?
I think he found my clit. Hurts so good, it feels good.
How are you feeling right now?
Good.
How do you typically deal with
Pain.
yeah.
I stop.
Yeah, stop doing a thing?
No, and I don't mean that in a smart way, but also I did. But really, what I mean is that I'll just stop moving
Yeah.
and I'll feel it
Yeah.
and let it pass.
Same here with this.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what I'm like. I'm absorbing it. I'm like, this is what it feels like. This is what it feels like. I was like, and then I know what it feels like.
Yeah.
And it's an oddly, like, I don't know, my palms are sweaty, but
Yeah.
I'm not in pain.
See,
If
the
that makes
adrenaline kicks in, and you got a little bit of a rush going there. Just got to not forget to breathe.
Yeah.
It's a good time to practice breathing.
Yeah. Good old time to practice breathing.
I got a tattoo
I
on
bet
my
so.
I got a tattoo on my armpits of my armpit, so it just looks
The same.
Yeah.
So you always know what your armpit looked like when you got it.
That's right.
You know what I mean? Because,
Yeah.
dude, you ever seen an old man pits? Like, old armpits, man, they look bad, bro.
Old ass armpit.
Dude, they don't even have the strength to stink. Like
Those armpits have seen some stuff, man. You don't know what these armpits have seen.
those armpits have PTSD of life. So they just
Nobody knows.
the first thing to die on a person is their armpits.
First thing to go.
That's the first thing to go. And when you see the pits go, you know it ain't long.
Well, how come I thought you had a lot of
Armpits.
tattoos, man?
Oh.
Yeah, a lot of armpits. How come I thought you had a lot of tattoos, but you just got the one? You seem like it's that joke you have where, I've been to Bonnaroo and what is it?
Oh yeah, I look like I've been to war and also Bonnaroo.
Yeah. But you also look like a guy who has all the tattoos and maybe none. You know?
Yeah, I kind of cool. All right, good. That's kind of the aura I always wanted, where it's like, hey, I'm not going to fucking take my shirt off in front of nobody.
Yeah.
So,
I have people I've been around for a while and they see a tattoo like, oh, I didn't know you had tattoos. I'm like, yeah.
yeah.
It's interesting. Would you mind telling us about that one tattoo you do have?
Yeah, it's half of the yin yang. This is the yin side, and me and my ex, she got the yang side. I got the yin side, and well, that's because I don't think I had a ring or something, and we're like, this works.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I don't know. I like the yin yang. That's kind of my thing.
Yeah.
Always, well, not always has been, but till recently, like I just lost the pendant.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, man, it's somewhere outside of the club,
Okay.
and I'm not worried about it because I know I'll find it because I've lost it 2 times. One time for like 6 months,
Really?
seemed like, and I was like, I'll find it when I meant to find it, and I found it, and I believe it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And if not so, I'll just keep looking for it.
Yeah, and if you don't find it, you just, you take a Buddhist approach to it.
Yeah. It's never mine to keep anyway.
Yeah.
I don't remember where I got it from the first place. I got it from a pawn shop, and it was just amongst all these things, and I was like, that one. And I don't always like the yin yang since I was a kid. It just means it's what I call a true truth. Like it's unanimously true that to every up there is a down, to a left there's a right, night there's a day. There's always polar opposites, and in mean polar opposites, there's the gray area where some things are neither. You know, like I believe some things happen for a reason. I believe some things happen for no reason, and I can't explain why it's like that. And I think if you could explain why it's like that, then something's wrong. I don't know. I think that's half of the Tao right there, is that knowing the way is that you can't know the way, because the Tao is the way. That's what it stands for. And it's just, I don't know. I find that very comforting and also scary as shit.
I think that's life, right?
Yeah.
It's a little Some of it is very comforting, and some of it is very scary.
Yeah.
Yeah, and some things are both at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Is the Tao, the Tao, those things? How long have those things been in your life?
I would say since I started watching Avatar: Last Airbender. Like I've
Nice.
always liked Japanese stuff
Mm-hmm.
and Chinese stuff. Anything like anything like that was always interesting to me. But when I started watching this show, a lot of things just started making sense because it was, I don't know, it's so simple at a time when I thought things could never be simple again or things weren't going to be simple. And it was a marathon. And I was like 22, 23. And I was living at home with mom again, and that kind of sucked. And the show came on. I'm just depressed on the couch, having panic attacks for no reason, feeling like my life's over, literally over. Like I was like, I can feel part of me being sucked away from me.
Because you ended up having to go back home with mom?
Not with mom.
Oh,
I mean, it wasn't mom's fault.
right.
Oh,
But back
what
home
you
in
talking-
general.
Oh, yeah. Like it was enough where I was like, I don't need to be, I'm not trying to party. I ain't trying to do nothing.
Yeah.
Like I thought I'd really fucked myself up.
Gotcha. So you're watching the show.
Yeah. And it just slowly creeps up on me where I'm like, I finished the first episode and I was like, I feel better. So I watched the second episode and I felt better. And I kept watching them because it made me feel better. Because when you feel bad, all you want to do is feel better.
Mm.
And it just helped me learn things about myself and other people. And sometimes you don't take the time to tell yourself you're sorry or tell other people you're sorry, and that we do have a purpose if we believe it. If you don't believe you don't have a purpose, then you don't have one. Sometimes you got to believe for yourself in order for belief to come true sometimes. And it's about overcoming adversities, all kinds of stuff. And by the time it was done, I felt lighter than I'd ever felt since I started feeling horrible.
Wow.
And so I decided just to try to live that way as best I could and learn along the way, because you're going to fuck up. You're going to fuck up. Even if you're doing great right now, doesn't mean you ain't going to have a mistake here or there. It's just about learning to make smaller mistakes along the way and getting faster at learning why you did. And I don't know. I think stuff like that's special and I don't know, other people feel the same way about the show. So I'm like, wow, this is a thing, and it highly suggest anybody to watch it.
So you think it helped with your balance in your life?
Yeah.
Like, just a lot of the things that were kind of out of your control help, like mentally help you put them back in control?
Mm-hmm. To realize sometimes you got to be patient. And that's the shittiest lesson for me. Patience. I'm not a patient person. I'm patient in general. But I mean, with myself about certain things, I'm very impatient. And it took a long time for me to get where I felt like me again. And that's part of the journey, is the patience to finish it. And that's the crazy part that you don't know before you start it.
Mm.
So you just, meander till you get to a cornerstone. You're like, holy shit, okay, I can look back now and see. It's like a video game. Level 2 was hard, but when you get to 5 and you have to play 2 again, you're like, oh, that ain't shit.
Yeah. The experience makes you stronger.
It can.
Do you feel like you are more patient with other people in your life, and being patient with yourself is the difficult thing, or was patience a thing in general? Or was it just specifically the patience with yourself?
I think it was in general. I think I was then around that time, I was a lot shorter with things because I was just like, I was always in a hurry. I was always in a hurry to do nothing.
Where does that come from?
I don't know. I think I just wanted to escape, to just get fucked up in a basement, play video games, make some music, go to some festivals, trip the fuck out, you know? I feel like that was, because I was like, okay, this is where the real truth is, you know? Like when you're in that place where you're so high or fucked up that you feel like you've never felt before. And it's like, that's
Not yourself.
That's one thing. Like you let your inhibitions go. But also just in a way of like where you feel closer to God, you know? I think a lot of people do a lot of drugs, some of them to feel that way. And it's a weird thing.
Do you think that's escapism or it's
Definitely part of it.
Yeah.
I would say it would go within that, but also if you were to say that God was on this earth somewhere, if you're going to find him, you're literally going to have to go away. You're going to have to journey somehow to find him. So escapism, findism, which is a new thing I just created, but
I'm with you.
searchingism. You're just in the search.
So when you found that show and you started watching it and you realized that there were lessons that you needed to learn, and we all take lessons from, we can look for lessons or we can just take the ones that are given to us. It sounds like you were given some lessons, and then you started. Did you start applying them in your life right away? Like how did it affect your life? What were the changes that you made right off the bat? When you see these things and you think to yourself, oh, this is more of the type of person that I want to be, or these are the messages that I relate with. How do you, because knowing those things is great, but putting them into action and practice is difficult.
Yeah. I think initially just showing people more compassion, like letting them know I loved them. I don't think I told my friends a lot before then that I loved them as much as I should have. And I wish I would have. Because, some of them aren't here anymore. And it's not my fault and it's not their fault. It's just, I don't know. You don't tell somebody you love somebody, then they'll never know that shit. And that's why I hate it I don't hate it, but I don't like it when people hold back just telling somebody they love them. I mean, give it that word has lost a lot of meaning over the years, but if you mean it when you say it, that's all that matters. I don't care how somebody else uses I love you or what they do with the burger. I eat mine. All right. Sometimes I throw it up so I can taste it again. You ever been so hungry you threw up the food you ate so you could taste it again? Is that the
Such a great experience. People being open, to come and take part and do this, have the trust in me, to do this and
yeah, that's true.
share parts of themselves and, hear things that, people may not hear all the time from somebody, or aspects of their life that they don't realize that they've had to go through and, experience to be where they are now. Like those things to me, man, that's like the stones of the path, like you're setting those things down, all those experiences, and then one day you just run out of stones and like, your lineage or a friend that has a memory of you, they take off and they continue building a path and you're just part of that path that was along that way. And I think those things are powerful, and the being able to get the influence from a show to really heal, and then something that you can heal from, but two, like return to, and get more from it. I think that's a special thing. Do you feel like whenever you have these good feelings, is that something that like, is there something special you do whenever you're feeling like good, creative wise? Go visit certain people, anything like that, whenever you're like, man, I feel good, I want this to continue, and this is how I'm gonna do it.
Is there anything that I do in particular?
Yeah.
One thing I try to do every Friday after work, after putting money in the bank, I try to sit in the car and message at least one person that I love them, because a lot of times, like, I get in this, I don't know, it just feels good to let somebody know you appreciate them
That's awesome, man.
and that they seem like they're on the right path, that they're doing good. And, I need to do that more often, but that kind of, it's like sharing the feels,
Yeah.
because if you can share that feel, if you can share a great feeling with somebody, you're really doing something.
Yeah.
You're really doing something. And I think that's what we try to do naturally with our comedy. I think so. Like, a lot of people try to share at least laughter. That's a good time right there. That's a good feeling. And you feel like you're in the zone. They call it Wu Wei. Wu Wei is like the art of non-trying. Like, you're in the flow state.
Oh, okay.
Sometimes, basketball players, football players, baseball players, they get in the flow state. And I believe that's a real place that we can get sometimes when we're on stage and sometimes off stage.
Yeah.
And I think that's coming close to enlightenment, in my opinion. When you're able to do without overthinking, you're just totally in the moment, and you are alive.
Yeah.
You are truly alive in that moment.
That's great, man. I like that. So when have you felt that flow stage on stage?
A few times.
Really?
Just a few. Not as many as I would like, Craig. Believe me. I wish I was able to tap into it more often, and I'm trying to. I think the more you do something naturally, you're able to do it more because you're giving yourself more chances to do it. So, yeah, it's something I'm still working on, but I have felt it before where it's like, holy shit,
It's effortless.
yeah, this is effortlessly fun, and I feel in control while also not having to think about being in control.
Is it like you're trusting yourself too? Like,
Yeah, you're trusting yourself, and you're also trusting the crowd as well, but you're really trusting what you're about to say and how they're going to react to it. And the greats do it. Like, the greats out there do it, and that's just in all kinds of things. It's not just comedy, but I don't know, it is real and it's obtainable. It's just one of those things where it's not as easy as like, I fixed a Rubik's Cube, now I'm a Rubik's Cubian, and you know how much those fuckers brag about it, don't they? Find somebody that can do a Rubik's Cube that won't shut the fuck up about Rubik's Cube.
I think my Rubik's Cube from a kid is still
Unfinished.
Unfinished, man, because I can't focus on a little multicolored square block for that long. So the tattoo character, what's the tattoo character's name?
Iro.
And what is he?
Well, he's as you would call it, right? Isn't that what they say? Uncle?
Nunk.
Nunk. All right, so
N-U-N-C.
all right, he's a nunk, but yeah, he goes by Uncle Iro, and he's kind of like one of the wise teachers of the whole show. Like, he's my favorite character because I think he's the wisest. He's the one that I like. You could play the best moments of that show, and at least out of like the best 10, he's probably in 7 of them. Like, he would just say certain things and it felt good. It felt like the way you always wanted your grandpa to talk to you if he happened to be like Chinese or Japanese, which I'll be honest with you, we've all wanted that grandpa. And they just, I don't know, even in the second series, you get to see him again, like in the afterlife. Bless you. And it's just one of those moments where it's like, holy shit, dude. It just, I don't know. I think in real life, it reminds me of my grandma, because I think we're given, if we're lucky, we're given a few teachers in our life.
Mm-hmm.
And if, like I said, if we're lucky to have them. And she was my teacher. And I don't know, she taught me a lot. And it's stuff that I think when you forget over time, but the older I get, the more I remember. And I don't know, you just want to be somebody like that. And if she was a cartoon, she'd be a Chinese man. Like, well, that's what I'm trying. I'm trying to think of other characters and other things that maybe could be comparable to. What do you think?
It's like Yoda.
Yeah.
I'd compare him to Yoda.
Yeah, like Yoda, but just wiser.
Yeah, he's not as cantankerous.
Yeah, like you don't have to. He's not full of mystery like Yoda. Like Yoda is very mysterious sometimes. Like he just won't be straight up.
Maybe Mr. Miyagi.
There you go. Yeah, like Mr. Miyagi. A lot like Miyagi. Whew.
The scene I really like the scene you chose for it too, where he's saying goodbye, like kind of talking to his son, right? Like his son had died in the war, and then like he always visits him. That's the scene, right?
Yep.
Where,
yeah, that's on the episode Tales of Bossing Say.
Yeah.
And the whole episode is like little shorts, right? Little short episodes of characters. Well, when it gets to when it gets to Iroh's little mini episode, it shows him walking through the town, and he bought like a really nice flower. He bought a picnic basket. There's a little kid crying. He walks up to him. He picks up a thing. He starts playing a song for him. Little boy feels better, and he gets up to the tree, and he puts out two incense, right? In a picture. You don't know who it is. You've never seen the character. And it was his son's birthday. And his son had died in the war. And that's what changed his life, was that happening to him to change him. And I think he tells him, he said, I wish I could have helped you like I'm helping them. And it's just it's that's what being human is about. Like it's the saddest part about being a human, but it's what we are. I don't know, there's something sadly beautiful about it at the same time. Like it's
that we can change.
You can change, and that you can we're all eventually going to lose each other one day. Like we're not permanent. I don't care how much people want to try to use science to live. Oh, you're going to fucking die, and it's the memories and the love that we feel it's got to be the reason why we're here. It can't be anything else, because, well, I mean, it can be. I can't say it can't be. But it just, I don't know.
It's like what he was talking about earlier, picking up the stones, like a legacy and everything. And that's kind of, in your tattoo, that's basically like he wishes he had done it before and now. And then in the other series, like they call back to him, how he influenced those kids and everything. And that's the really human part of it, how you kind of live on even, after death.
Yep. Yeah, I think a way we live on through after death, I believe, is through things we create, photos, videos, songs, but mainly if all of that had to go under a core word, I think it'd be memories. It'd be memory. You want to be remembered. You don't live like you want to be remembered, but live a good enough life to where you are remembered. If that means any.
Ernest Hemingway had a quote, and he said, every man has two deaths when he is buried in the ground and the last time someone says his name. And I think that's what it means, right? Like,
Yeah.
first time you die is when you're buried in the ground. It's when you die. And then you are still alive as long as people remember you.
Yeah. I tell you, when he went to camp that one time, that Ernest guy you talking about, that motherfucker's so silly.
Crazy.
I tell you, he's so funny. In
Yeah.
jail, shocking people.
Well, a man dies twice, you see.
Yeah, those Ernest movies really did fuck up Hemingway.
Yeah.
Or did they?
Fair point. He did go to jail. He was never the same.
Ernest Hemingway.
Got
saves
out, joined the
prison.
army.
So when you think about that and then it gets you emotional, and I know earlier you had mentioned that this character reminds you of your grandmother in some ways.
Yeah.
Is there what does it remind you of? Is there anything specific it reminds you of? Or is it just that in general?
Well, I mean, there's quite the movie, I mean, the show probably has a good handful of scenes that every time I see it, I'm like, you know, and that one in particular, like this in particular, the picture, it's not the same. It's like a mixture of a scene. Plus there's two things. Like he loved tea, right? That was his thing. He's really good with tea, loved tea. So he's got a teapot. You don't see like Dead Son picture or anything like that.
Right.
But it's, I don't know. It's like the same thing, but him happier with some tea. If that makes sense.
Yeah, I get it.
You know what I mean? Because
Yeah.
I don't want to look at my leg and cry every day. I could, but you know what I mean?
Sure, yeah.
I mean, at least I can look at my leg. You know, that's half the battle, right?
Yeah, so I would say, so just doing some research about this tattoo, I would say that the T symbolizes lineage
Mm-hmm.
because there's history behind it. Because the making process, the becoming good, like to me, the T is more than just a happiness thing. The T is, it took time to get it this good, and I learned it from those that came before, who learned it from those that came before. And maybe that's something that he intended on showing his son and never had that opportunity. So he shares that moment with him, but like, because I researched stuff and it said stuff about tea ceremonies and things like that in China. And it's a big thing to go and, share tea with people.
Mm-hmm.
But I would say that the T is more a symbol of time,
Yeah.
that appreciation of what he did have with his son while it was there, not dwelling necessarily on the moments he can't have. Like, this is the moment that is possible for him at this time, and whenever you start to relate it to your own experiences and stuff like that, like listening to you talk about it, I can definitely sympathize on the appreciation of the moment as the moment is happening and being grateful for those moments that happen and not looking at those times as insignificant and not looking at those times as wasted. They were valuable and you need to acknowledge they were valuable. But like you said earlier, most people don't acknowledge the valuable times until they're standing at somebody's casket side saying, man, remember when, you know?
Mm-hmm. Shoulda, woulda, coulda, wish I woulda.
Shoulda, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree with that. You gotta live in the moment. I think that's, I don't know. It's something you do when you're a kid naturally, and then you get older, and then you start living, doing other things, or you get in your head like you're being watched. The moment, like I was talking about, the moment that you're cognitive of your body, where you see it like kind of what other people see. it's like shit. You lost it. You know, the freedom. It's like Adam and Eve noticing they're naked or something. Like that realization of like shit. Holy fuck. Like
Yeah.
that sucks. And it's trying to get back to that ability. Or some of it. You know, I don't know. Everybody's on their own journey and path, and I think it's pretty damn neat. I think it's awesome. My favorite scary movie, I'm gonna have to go with Silver Bullet. Stephen King's Silver Bullet.
Wow, I haven't seen that.
That's the one with the bat.
Does it have a bat?
Is that the one with the giant bat that like kills those guys? Oh no, that's Night Graveyard Shift. Maybe.
Nah, It's about a werewolf.
Never mind.
In a small city. I think it's done very well. The movie's not so scary as it's just the story of people. It's like, it's between that and The Thing, because they both remind me of the same thing. Because if you put yourself in the shoes of the people in the movie, you don't know who the bad guy is. And then when you find out who the werewolf is, you're like, holy shit. And it's somebody that you would never expect to be. And the main character's a boy. He's paralyzed. His legs don't fucking work. His uncle's Gary Busey. Like, he's got a lot of bad shit going on with him, you know? He's seen better days. And it was Corey Haim, too. So, I mean, you know, it's such a good movie. To me, I love werewolves. I think they're dope. Like, if they existed, it'd be hard for me not to want to be one.
Mm.
If I could, like, literally control turning into one and eating people.
Yeah.
Like, if I was a civilized wolf man, I would love it. I would wolf out only in special times. Like, what's his face from Teen Wolf? You know what I mean? Like, he wants to, yes. Scott, if he wants to dunk a basketball, he just woofs out. Wants to be
surf on top of a van.
Yeah.
Woof out. You know, like, you can't do that as a regular person.
Dance
get
with
away
a girl.
With it. What'd you say?
Dance with a girl.
Woof out. I mean, he obviously the whole school knew how to dance because he taught them how to dance in person.
How did that chick's reputation not get ruined? Like, because you know he had that weird pink dog dick thing. You know? Like,
and you know they fucked like that because you hear him do the whole like, or whatever.
He did Blue's Clues?
Yeah.
Let's play a game. Boudreaux, you give Dusty any scary movie, and he will give you the synopsis and synapses as shittily and as quickly as possible.
oh, okay. Let's see. Can it be like thriller scary?
Try it out.
The Platform.
The Platform. All right. So it's like political, and I'm not getting into that.
Let's go with It.
It. All right. So we're in Derry, Maine, and just happen to have the worst septic system in the world. Yeah. You got to flush twice. The best part, find out he's just a fucking spider made out of clay. What a waste of fear as a child. I didn't take showers for fucking 2 weeks till I finished the movie and I saw it was a fucking spider.
Pet Cemetery.
Pet Cemetery. All right. So these parents are really bad at being parents, and their kid gets ran over, and they bring that bastard back from the dead, and they kill that fucker again. All in the span of a day. All with the, they even knocked over his little coffin, his little baby hand falls out. You see his little baby hand, you know, and it's still like a baby hand, but dead baby hand.
Boudreaux's got a Jaws shirt on.
Yeah.
The Jaws.
Jaws.
Oh,
All right, so these white people can't stop fucking swimming.
Oh, God.
He's got to be full, bro. He's got to be full. Those waves are calling my name, Lodi. Yeah,
He ain't
let's.
coming back.
He ain't coming back. Let's see what.
Well, you mentioned The Thing earlier. The Thing.
Golly, The Thing. First of all, just never go to a place called Antarctica. All right, it's got like 4 syllables. Like nothing worth the shit has more than 2 or 3 syllables in it. And if a dog comes up to you in Antarctica, burn it. Ain't a regular dog. That movie's so good.
That's a good one.
Golly, that movie's great. It almost.
Would you say peak Kurt Russell?
Yeah, because I can't think of. Well, yeah, that's peak. I mean, that's him at his best in something that's like straight up thriller. It's not meant to be funny. There's nothing funny about the movie at all. Like, there's maybe one spot maybe to have a laugh.
Yeah, when he sees the head and he's like, "You
gotta be fucking kidding."
Yeah.
And he happened to be the thing. Like, the whole idea is just, I have no idea why they haven't tried to do a sequel to that.
There was a video game for it, and it canonically is the sequel, according to Carpenter.
Believe me, I've seen playthrough. Because I didn't own an Xbox or whatever it was on.
Yeah.
Just the idea of something that can turn into your friends, and that's where creating memories comes in handy. Like, I don't know. That would be like, I'd be like, hey, Eric, you remember that one New Year's show? First year I was in, I crushed. It was great. Didn't steal a crutch, you know? Because you remember I stole that crutch.
You kept that crutch for a while, didn't you?
I gave it to my mom when she needed a crutch.
We did a show, and Dusty ended up stealing a crutch, kept it. Who'd you get it from? Do you remember who you
He's
got
a
it from?
homeless dude.
All right.
But he didn't need it.
He didn't
need it. You know what I mean? And he left it. He just left it. And I
That's
was
right.
like, man, this is New Year's. I just had the shittiest set in the nicest jacket I've ever bought.
That's right.
I still have that jacket. And it's nice.
Nice suit jacket.
Yeah, exactly. Very thinning. And I saw that and I was like, that's mine now. And he even tried to get it back from me and I stared him down. I did. We were in a restaurant. He knew I had home turf. You know what I mean? But I did give it to my mom. I was like, wait. I really did. She broke her foot, man.
You needed a crutch.
Yeah.
See, what's the best candy bar in the history of the world? If you can only have one candy bar for the rest of your life, from now until the end of time,
Yeah.
it's the only one that exists for you from here on out.
Uh-huh.
Which one do you pick?
What do you say, Craig?
God, man.
I know.
Sustainability, long-term sustainability. I'm going Snickers bar.
Snickers.
Yes.
Yeah.
Strong agreement over from young Seth.
Yeah.
Why?
Long-
What is it about the Snickers?
So you got to think longevity.
Okay.
Eating it together, eventually you're going to get fucking tired of it.
Sure.
So whenever I think candy bars, it's one of the ones with like the most individual ingredients.
Diversity.
Diversity. So you could like break the chocolate off one day,
Okay.
just eat chocolate, you know, and eat the other part separate. You could have just peanut, you got just caramel, just nougat.
Yeah.
It's the most efficient candy bar.
I
Yeah.
think so.
All right.
A man's
It's the
candy
Swiss
bar.
Army candy bar.
Yeah.
It's got a lot of layers.
It's got depth.
It's a good answer. All right.
Yeah.
What do you go with, Dusty?
I'm going with Mr. Goodbar.
Mr. Goodbar. You are everyone's grandfather.
First of all, it's got good in the name. And it's not even just good. It's married. That's Mr. Goodbar. There's a Mrs. Goodbar out there we hadn't even tasted yet. You know, we're not allowed to taste because she's a married candy bar.
Mr. Goodbar. It's not Mr. Excellent Bar or any of that. It's just,
It's good.
it's good.
You got to think, this came out in the 20s when nothing was really that good. So the fact that was the best word they had back then.
There's no licorice in it. This is swell.
Great wasn't even created till like we destroyed the Nazis. Like, you know what I mean?
Heard 3 kids died to bring us this candy bar.
Yeah.
Mr. Goodbar helps with lupus.
Right after you smoke a cigarette.
I mean, atomic
Don't
age.
forget to
Hey.
drink your lead. So, Mr. Goodbar, so that's the one you go with for the rest of your life.
It's the sweetest chocolate, and it's got, for some reason, I don't like peanuts, but it has the best peanuts. I won't
Yeah.
eat peanuts unless they're in Mr. Good form.
Well, it's good. Well, it's because they're the original peanuts from 1918.
They don't even make them
They
like that
saved
anymore.
one barrel, and they've been using that fucking barrel since. And you're the only one buying Mr. Goodbar. So they're like, hey, we need to make another box of Mr. Goodbars for Dusty.
They just keep adding water to it.
Yeah, I can. I turn in the wrappers for an extra 5 cents. You know what I mean?
100 wrappers to get you a nickel, kids.
Yeah.
And they just reuse the wrappers for Dusty's candy bars because he's opening them so meticulously.
Oh, so good.
All right, Mr. Goodbar and a Snickers. We'll add those to the list. One more question, if you don't mind. Boudreaux, you mind if I ask you questions? All right, cool. So, it's middle of the night, man. You're pretty hungry. You go to the kitchen, and you're going to make a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, all right? You reach up, and you grab your bread, which is what kind of bread, ideally? Not what you have right now. This is all best case scenario. You're doing pretty well in life, and you can have the things you want. What kind of bread do you grab?
Like for a sandwich?
Yeah, for a peanut butter jelly sandwich.
What do you say, Boudreaux?
So if it's a bread of choice, ideal bread of choice, I'm grabbing a fresh out of the oven French bread from Marcel's supermarket in my hometown.
Okay. All right.
I was going to say the same fucking thing from Boudreaux's town. Dude, tell us about this magical bread. This sounds great.
I buy 2 every time I go home because as soon as you walk in the door, you can smell if they came out the oven. And then you just feel them. If they're hot, that's when you buy. And I buy 2 because I eat one in the truck. A whole French bread, a 2-foot-long French bread. I eat it in the truck on the way home.
All right.
Wow.
And then, so what kind of bread do you get, Dusty?
Me? God. Man,
No pressure.
I was going to say like bunny bread.
Yeah, I like bunny bread. That's my answer.
No, like, I was fuck away. I don't eat that. But I don't go after bread a lot. But if I did, I like Jiffy bread. You got to make it. You remember Jiffy?
No, I do not remember Jiffy.
The little blue boxes. You see them? It says Jiffy. Little Jiffy. Jiffy. It's
Never heard of it.
you guys
brother.
never heard of Jiffy?
Never.
All right, dude.
I mean, I heard of Jiffy, but it's Jiffy Pop,
Jiffy Lube.
Jiffy popcorn.
yeah.
Jiffy
Okay. well,
popcorn, and I don't
maybe.
care.
But Grandma used to make this flatbread. It'd just be flatbread. Looked like something that cavemen would eat or something because it hadn't poofed up so much.
Oh, Jiffy, you mean like corn muffin mix?
Yeah.
Oh,
What do you mean?
Cornbread.
You make bread out of it?
Yeah. That's what it says, right?
It's Jiffy corn muffin mix.
Yeah, it's delicious. But
Yeah,
they
you
have
make
bread
cornbread.
bread. But they have bread.
Oh, see, okay. All
They
right.
have bread. I promise you, it tastes just like bread.
All right.
And it's good. And my grandma made it.
All right. So you reach up, you both grab your bread, and you're gonna make a peanut butter jelly sandwich now, right? You reach up, you grab your peanut butter. What kind of peanut butter is it?
Skippy.
Skippy, crunchy or flat?
Skippy and Jiffy. Oh, I get I like the kind with the honey in it.
Honey peanut butter.
Yeah.
All right. What about you, Boudreaux? What kind of peanut butter you fuck
extra crunchy Jif.
with? Extra crunchy Jif. Then you reach up, you grab your jelly or what do you grab?
Apple jelly. every
Apple
time.
jelly.
Oh, strawberry.
Strawberry jam or jelly?
What's the difference?
I think there's a
I
difference.
don't eat jellies that much.
Usually when somebody says grape, they mean jelly. When they say strawberry, they mean a jam. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll go with a strawberry molasses.
Yeah, is it homemade or something?
Sure.
You look like you come from a place where it's
I mean,
local.
there's shit in my basement that I probably still could eat. Like, you know what I mean? I'm just afraid to touch it.
All right,
But-
so you got your peanut butter, you got your jelly, you got your bread. You reach into the silverware drawer and you grab a
Butter knife?
butter knife. You, Boudreaux, what are you spreading with?
Butter knife for the peanut butter, spoon for the jelly.
Ooh, all right. A man with 2 pieces.
Wow.
And so, all right. And what do you put on the bread first?
Well, I toast my bread,
Toast your bread.
so it's got to be warm to melt the jelly.
Jelly first.
Jelly first to get an even spread of the jelly,
On one slice or both
One
slices?
slice.
One slice.
and then peanut butter on the other side.
On the other one.
as it cools.
What about you?
Oh, I'll go with the peanut butter so I can lick it off the fork. I mean, whatever I put it on.
the
Damn.
butter knife.
Yeah, the
It's
butter
on that
knife.
side fat. Yeah. So you got to. All right. So you put your peanut butter on one piece or two pieces?
Oh, just one.
Just one. And then you get the jelly, and you put it on
The other one.
the other one, and then you just smash those together.
them together.
What about you, Boudreaux? You put the jelly on first, you put the peanut butter on the other one, and then you just put them together there. And then how do you cut them?
Oh, diagonal. Like that.
Diagonal?
I'm not for.
What's that? You don't cut it at all.
Oh.
You eat the whole sandwich.
Yeah, how can you
All
cut the
right.
French
Okay.
bread? You know, you can't cut that in corners.
see
It's
that.
fair.
Bread.
Yeah, it's
I
fair.
can see that.
All right.
Now, give it. I despise peanut butter and jelly sandwiches.
Oh, really?
So if I had to make this would be me eating alone
At the end of days.
at the end of days. No, I meant this would be my Golden Corral alone moment. You see me eating a peanut butter and jelly by myself, I'm about to end it for good.
I've been asking a lot of people that question. I think I'm going to do a whole podcast about just how people make their peanut butter and jellies because
Yeah.
no two people have had the same answer at all.
I can see that.
It's such a unique,
Well, and combination.
yeah, and there's no uniformity.
All right. For people out there, they're like, oh, I'm lonely. Woe is me. They want to meet somebody. Go to PBJ and you put in the whatever, your profile, exactly how you make your
Peanut butter jelly.
jelly. Whoever has the exact same
Soulmates.
and have to marry on the spot
Yes.
without question. Once you sign yes,
Yeah, regardless of
that is
sexuality.
That is well, while we all eat peanut butter and jelly sandwiches.
To consummate the marriage.
PBandJdates.com. Boudreaux, did you guys have ice cream trucks when you were a kid?
Yeah,
What do you guys call them?
just ice cream trucks.
Yeah,
like,
some people call them ice cream trucks. Some people call them the ice cream man.
yeah.
We call him the pony boy when I was growing up.
Huh?
Yeah.
Most of ours were drug dealers.
Okay, but they had ice cream too.
Yeah,
That was nice of them. A little something for everybody.
yeah, exactly.
They never got it mixed up, did they?
Remember they had the window and you'd walk up and they had all the pictures all over the window, you know?
Yeah.
And when you're looking at the window and you see that big menu of all the ice cream bars that are on the ice cream truck, what's the thing you choose first? What's the best item you can get? One thing. That's the only ice cream truck ice cream you can have for the rest of your life. What do you choose? What's
And
the
it's an
go-to?
ice cream bar, correct? It's
Yeah,
not
it's
like,
not-
oh, a scoop of vanilla.
No,
It's-
no.
it's
That's
a
ice cream shop.
bar.
Yeah.
So
That is unlimited.
you talk about a
at Golden
tasty.
Corral.
You talk about a tasty treat.
Yes.
What do you say, Boudreaux?
Man, I'm gonna have to say red, white, and blue pop.
Oh, a
Whoa,
rocket pop.
okay,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah,
Pop, yeah, that was mine
alright.
too.
yeah. Good
That
call. That
remi-
was yes, that's as well.
I tell you, they smell like skating. They remind me of skating. Like skating was so cool, and all the kids had the fucking what he just said,
What?
the rocket
Skating's
pop.
not cool anymore?
Not like it used to be, man. Dude, skating was so fucking cool. But yeah, those are good. I was always afraid to get those or the shark attack. They had one that was like a shark. Looked like it. Yeah, and it was like, "Arr," and the kids would eat it instead of it eat them. And so he felt like you had domain over sharks. God. Ooh. Ooh. Oh,
You're doing great, dude.
having contraptions.
You're doing great.
Contraptions.
You're having contraptions.
Oh, it's fucking. I'll go. Oh boy, I will go with the strawberry crunch thing, where it has like the cookie shit.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
That's
Strawberry
Eric's.
shortcakes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
man.
That's everybody who gives me any other answer, I don't trust. That's how I know if we're friends or not, you know. And so far, I've only got two friends in this world, Dusty, and you're one of them.
Oh, hooray!
That's actually what started the question for me because I was having a real problem with those because I'd buy them and I just can't not eat all of them the same night.
All right, an app, right, where lonely people are like, "Woe is me," and you ask them, you pretend that you're an ice cream truck.
Yeah.
And you come up, and the people that are, woe is me, have to choose, and whoever chooses the same thing
Yeah.
has to get married instantly.
I love it.
And fuck in front of us.
Yeah, you gotta have sex.
While we have peanut butter jelly sandwiches and ice cream.
I am a man. You are done.
What? Yeah. For real? Like you're done?
Yeah.
Oh God, man. I was so afraid. I was like, man, if he touches that spot that he just touched, I think I'm going to shit. Dude, I love it. Bro, you did that, dude?
Yeah, man.
How you feel?
It's like having a baby.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah,
it was
you had a
harder
lot
than
of
having a baby.
contraptions.
I think it's harder than having a baby.
Yeah.
Harder than my first one anyway.
That's right. Oh yeah. This has been good, man. I'm so excited that it's working out and we're like doing it, you know?
I mean, man, you sit in this chair, you know, for 20 plus years. You hear so many stories, you know, you hear so many insights of people. You hear things that nobody else would have ever known, heard, you know, and like that's where it came from. Because the thing is walls come down. You know, you're in a stressful situation. You gotta have a certain amount of trust with everybody that's in the room, everything that's going on, and it's intimate, you know. And so you can just start talking, and then whenever you got people that are just open and honest, man, it makes conversation pretty easy, you know.
I think the little prickle of pain makes it easier to open up and talk. Because it's just like, we're talking, that prickling ain't going to go away until it's done. You know what I mean? And it's like, so you try to talk to relax as well. I'm the kind of person I have to talk to myself to get myself to chill out sometimes.
Yeah.
You know, and
You're in the situation till it's over.
right.
Yeah. And you're having a, you know, if you can be around somebody and be in pain, then
Yeah.
you know, it's an intimate moment.
I think so too.
I've had some of the best conversations I've ever had while getting tattoos, man. You know, like I've got some tattoos from people I didn't necessarily bond with, but I've had some like incredible bonds with the people who gave me tattoos, especially in something like this where you kind of trust this person, be like, hey, here's my idea, give me your version of that, you know.
Yeah, it's like people that help people that got like shot in the shoulder or something, and you're just like, when you're done, like you probably feel like best friends.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Why wouldn't you?
Yeah. You shared an experience.
Share a big experience.
Yeah. So it's going to be different now. Like, do you think it'll be different watching that scene?
Oh, well, just the show in general. Like
Yeah.
I always thought, I was like, if I get another tattoo, I was like, it's probably going to be Iro related. And I don't think I could have thought of a better than this right here. This is phenomenal.
Oh, yeah. I'm glad it worked out, man. I'm glad you came in.
Yeah,
Yeah,
dude.
me too. Thanks, both of y'all. Seriously.
Yeah, man. Thank you.
This was really good. This felt great.
Yeah, good.
I needed this.
Hell yeah.
Good, man. So I really hope that, you know, people that follow your comedy, you know, and people in your personal life, if they choose to watch it and all that, like they gain a little insight on who you are, you know,
Right.
a little bit more about you. And because, I mean, maybe they feel like, you know, they should tell people around them that they love people more, but don't have the confidence to do it, because if you do that, then you're weak for some reason, you know. And then it's like, oh, well, you know, they do it.
You know, you're somebody in my life that we tell each other we love each other every time we see each other. We text each other randomly to do it, and that's improved the quality of my life in multiple ways, man. And you know, my definition of love wasn't always correct. You know, I grew up with people telling me they loved me while they were doing horrible things. You know, it's like, you beat the shit out of me and you tell me you love me. Well, I misconstrue the meaning of that word. And being older and being a man, your definitions of words are sometimes really off. And then you meet people who are truly lovely and they tell you they love you, and it corrects that definition.
Yeah.
You know, and you're one of those people, man.
Thanks, bro. I love you.
Love you too.
I love you too. I love you, Craig.
I love you,
seriously.
man. Yeah, it is a great environment, man.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Very excited about
I love you, Seth.
Love you too, buddy.
It's my boy.
Oh, yeah.
I'm your real dad.
Ta-da!
I am the father. That would be great.